Hi, Hubert Humphrey, fourth graders. All right, Mrs. Gonzalez here coming at you guys. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm going to put this into two videos. Okay, this first video is going to be on the instructions and the first story, and then we'll post a second video with the second story. That way it kind of breaks it up and you guys can pause in between and work. Okay, so last week we went over character traits in your guys' stuff. Today we're going to focus on character traits again. But what we're going to add in this week is character traits and their motivations. What motivates those characters to do what they're doing, to act like they're acting? So, so what we say is think fast with character traits. What I mean by think fast is FAST. Feelings, actions, speech, thoughts. So when you think about feelings for a character, boys and girls, you have to think, okay, what are they feeling? It may not always be explicitly told in the text. They're feeling mad, they're feeling sad, they're feeling upset. You may have to infer those feelings. And how sometimes you infer what those feelings is you go back into the text and you look at, okay, what were these characters' actions? What were they doing? What were they saying? What was the speech? What are the characters saying to other people? Or sometimes what the characters are thinking. The text may tell you they are thinking, oh, I just feel so horrible today. Oh, well, that we can infer on that on how they're feeling. If you can look at their feelings, their actions, their speech, and their thoughts, sometimes you can make a judgment on what type of character that person is, okay? Here are just some examples of different character traits. I'm not going to go through and read these to you guys, but you can go and use this as a reference to help you with character traits. Some examples are like you can tell if a character is mean by the way they treat other people, things they say, how they act, their actions towards people, okay? You can tell if a person is brave. What are some of the things they do? Those actions, those maybe a feeling, things they say, okay? Things they think. So you can use those things to kind of get some of these, whether they're grumpy, they're sad, they're happy, obnoxious. I like that word. Okay, the next slide, guys, this is your graphic organizer you're going to be using today. Now, Miss Nunn put a little note on here that says, you know, it's always best before you read a story sometimes to know what questions you're going to answer, or sometimes what graphic organizer you're going to do before you read the story. So here on this shield, think fast with character traits. In the red dot in the middle of the shield is where you're going to put the character that you're using, okay? You put the character's name there, and then you can record some of their feelings they had, whether it's inferred or not, actions, thoughts, some of the things that they say, okay? So ask yourselves some questions like that first slide and write some of those things down. And then you can kind of infer onto what kind of character that person is, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys the first story. It's called Midas Touch, okay? Long ago, a king named Midas did a favor for a god named Dionysus. Hopefully some of you can pronounce that better than I can. My class knows I'm not the best at Greek names, but I try my best. So be forgiving, okay? In return, the god wanted to grant King Midas a wish. King Midas knew well enough what he most desired. Desired, if you desire something, it's like something that you cherish more than anything. You want it more than anything, okay? Some of you might be desiring to go play video games right now. He cared more about gold than anything else in the world. In those days, kings had treasuries in their palaces. A treasury was a safe place where they would keep their valuable things. The treasury of King Midas contained a vast collection of rich jewels, vessels of silver, chests of gold coins, and other things that he considered precious. Okay, guys, I'm going to be stopping and going over some of the vocabulary every once in a while just to help you guys, okay? So vast means huge, large. So he had a huge collection of rich jewels. Vessels is a word for a container. So he had like a huge container of silver, chests of gold coins, and things that he considered precious. So things that he considered valuable. Okay. When Midas was a little child, he used to watch the ants running back and forth over the sand near his father's palace. It seemed to him that the ant hill was like another palace and that the ants were working very hard carrying treasures. They came running up the ant hill from all directions carrying little white bundles. Midas made up his mind that when he grew up, he would work very hard and gather treasure like the ants. Once Midas became a king, he found that nothing gave him more pleasure than adding to his collection of treasures. He continually came up with ways to exchange or sell various exquisite items. Various means different, okay? Exquisite is a word that describes how he finds them beautiful. So beautiful and precious, they're his most valuable, loved items. He plotted new ways to tax the people, so to take money from them, turning all the money into gold and silver. Therefore, when the god Dionysus offered to grant King Midas any wish he wanted, King Midas's first thought was of his treasure. He asked Dionysius for the gift of a golden touch. King Midas wanted everything that he touched to turn into gold, and Dionysius granted him his wish. King Midas could hardly believe his good fortune. He thought fortune is like good luck. He's having great luck. He thought himself the luckiest man ever born. The very first thing he did was touch the branch of a tree. Immediately, the branch became the richest of gold, laughing triumphantly. So if you're laughing triumphantly, you're proud. You feel like you just won. He touched a stone, an apple, and other items close by. Oh, no doubt about it, King Midas truly had the golden touch. King Midas returned to his palace full of delight. So he was ecstatic. He was happy. However, when he patted his favorite dog, he began to have grave doubts. Doubts meaning he's not so sure anymore. As soon as the king touched his dog, sadly, it turned into a cold, golden statue. The dinner gong sounded, and he hurried to his meal where the table was loaded with delicious foods. As he sat down at the head of the table, his chair turned into gold. At the same time that this occurred, he popped a grape into his mouth. It turned into a golden lump. Oh, the horror! In disgust, King Midas spit it out and tried to sip on hot soup, but it turned into molten gold and burned his mouth. Next, he tried the bread, cheese, and everything on the table. Every item turned into gold at his touch. King Midas's bright treasures began to look ugly to him. His heart grew heavy as if it were turning into gold. So everything he's eating, the horror, he's so upset. Everything he's eating is turning into gold. So he's not getting to eat food like he wants to. His treasures, so the things he valued the most, the thing that he loved more than anything, began to look ugly to him. These things no longer look exquisite to him. They're ugly. When it says his heart grew heavy, they're kind of using that as a way, like his heart is growing heavy. His chest is no longer like light and excited and, oh, I love this. It's growing heavy, sad, upset, as if his heart were almost turning to gold. Because gold is heavy, it's not lightweight. All of a sudden, King Midas's daughter, Marigold, ran in from the garden and hugged him lovingly, putting her arms about his neck. Uh-oh. Immediately, she stiffened. Her arms and legs grew hard. Little Marigold had turned into a golden statue. Midas was devastated, meaning he was beyond upset. When you're devastated, you just can't not be any more upset. He called out to the god Dionysus, "Take away this horrible gift. Take all my lands, take all my gold, take everything, and I beg you to please just give me back my sweet marigold. Dionysus heard his pleas and came to the king. Well, Midas, he said kindly, yet a little sternly, do you still think gold is the finest thing in the world? So when it says that Dionysus was saying kindly yet sternly, he's not being mean, he's not being horrible. I'm sure you guys have heard your parents or your teachers kind of talk to you still in that loving way, but we're being very serious with you. Kindly but sternly. Do you still think gold is the finest thing in the world? Wanting to get a point across. Never again, replied the king humbly. Take away the golden curse and give me my marigold. Dionysus took pity on the pathetic king and took away the golden touch, which was, after all, a curse rather than a gift. To make sure that Midas didn't forget his own foolishness, the gods gave him a reminder. 2 donkey ears sprouted from the top of his head. From that day forward, Midas never forgot his lesson. So this story has a theme too. All right, guys, so what I want you guys to do now is this is going to be the end of this first video. Go back to this shield. I think it was the 3rd slide, this shield slide, and you can use like Midas as your character. And now go back and reread the story on your own now that I've read it to you. Okay, I should have hopefully made it a little easier for you guys to read it and understand what's going on. Go back now and find what Midas is feeling. What are his actions? What is he doing? What is he saying? What is he thinking? Put some of those things on this shield to help you kind of figure out what kind of character Midas is. Okay? And when you're finished with that, go on to the second video and I am going to read to you guys the next story, Echo and Narcissist. All right, see you guys soon.